Hi, I'm Natalie and I'm 21.
Hey Natalie, I recognize you from the clubs that we go to, so you've seen me at my worst. This is fire. It's a yes.
You've seen me at my...
Elden Ring and Baldur's Gate.
Oh, okay. Those are absolutely bangers.
He likes her. She likes him. She's playing with her hair. This one's gonna hurt him.
Natalie, would you come take my seat?
And I'll just stare right down the gun.
Yeah.
So you've come out on top. You said a second ago you would take another date. But the other offer on the table is all of the money in his wallet currently. It could be nothing.
It's not.
It's not nothing.
I say the money.
That's fucked up.
What if you have to sign a restraining order if you take the money? So you're picking money.
Is that gonna hurt your feelings?
Nope.
Yeah.
Yep. I knew it.
You're never gonna find love, man.
It doesn't exist.
Adventures out there.
Half of Gen Z men no longer actively even trying to date. They're not even trying. And so the question is, well, why isn't that happening for women? Women, first off, are dating older. They want more economically and emotionally viable men, and that usually means older men. In addition, when young women are lonely, they have much better social networks. They have much stronger friend networks, whereas guys become kind of lone wolves and kind of literally sequester from everyone and everything.
Gen Z boss enemy. Itty bitty titties in a ball. Itty bitty titties in a ball. 5'3" in an attitude. 5'3" in an attitude. Secret product in the trench. Secret product in the trench. New friend green and a sneaky link. New friend green and a sneaky link. Fake 10 hands in a hoop. Fake 10 hands in a hoop.
I quit.
Ah, the smell of a good challenge in the morning. Most men will agree that Gen Z guys got a pretty raw deal. And by Gen Z men, I'm not talking about those who fit the usual stereotypes. No, I'm talking about the ones just like you and me, the ones who work hard when nobody's watching, who take it slow, and who don't subscribe to the ravenous attention market. These are the men who simply want to live an honest, traditional life. After all, these are the men this channel was made for. Now, let's talk about that so-called specialist standing there, scratching the surface of why Gen Z men don't date. He falls into the same trap most analysts do daily. He only inspects the surface and doesn't bother to see what's just a foot deeper. So let's dig into it and really explore what's going on beneath the surface.
What's going on?
Nothing.
Why are you driving in the wrong way of traffic?
No, I just got changed around. I just moved here like 2 months ago.
You're going into oncoming traffic.
I know, and I just decided that it was better just to turn around really fucking quick.
Okay. Your insurance, your registration, I'm going to check your driver's license status. I'm going to do all that.
Sorry, just like as an indigenous person, I'm non-binary, so.
Okay. What do you go by?
Just Kai.
How can I refer to you tonight? Kai? Okay. Hey, I'm smelling alcohol.
I know.
How much have you consumed tonight?
Like probably 3 drinks.
I need to run you through some tests right now. Okay. Perfect. Stand facing me, please.
But I just want you to know that I also have very bad social anxiety.
You and me both.
You're just like trying to intimidate me.
This is just how the test goes.
I know, but you're exaggerating it more than it needs to be right now.
Just focus on my finger.
Well, as you know, as an indigenous person, and there's a bunch of shit going around, I'm sorry, but it's just for me to be on my toes. I'm non-binary.
Yeah, I'll try my hardest. I need to know if you have any injuries or anything that would prevent you from doing a standard walk or turn tonight.
Mental health.
Any physical injuries?
Mental, yeah. Not call me ma'am, please.
I'm trying my hardest.
It's kind of triggering.
Right foot in front of your left. Nope, go back.
I'm sorry, but the whole man thing just like...
I apologize.
Why do you think it's so difficult for people to publicly advocate for the problems of men and boys?
Because victimhood doesn't work for men the way it works for women. We don't feel sorry for men. And rightly so, by the way. Biologically, men are disposable in a way that women aren't, for the obvious reasons. If you have a tribe of 10 men, 10 women, you send the women off to war, you're screwed. You send the men off to war, one comes back, you can still replenish the population. So men are disposable, always will be, much more than women. And so we don't feel sorry for men in the same way. And I'm not advocating that we feel sorry for men, because I don't believe that's the solution to men's problems. The solution to men's problems is for men to be better.
What's that mean?
You know what I mean. Look at you. This is what your entire life is spent on, bettering yourself. Physically, emotionally, psychologically, mentally. You're obsessed with performance. You're obsessed with being better. You're obsessed with being happier, more fulfilled, all of these things. It's a pursuit of your own greatness. One of the reasons that men's mental health is not as good as it could be is that, A, we do live in a society which discourages them from being men and being the way that men are supposed to be. But the other reason is that most of the personal development and psychology fields are geared towards female ways of being. And most of the ways that we treat, for example, depression, men don't need the same thing as women do when it comes to that. What men need is to feel powerful and capable.
So, what are you up to, young lady?
I apologize, but this chick pulled out every card like a magician who lost their footing, pun intended. The first clip describes how men are seen and how they interact with the world, and it's biologically accurate. Historically, men were the ones considered expendable, at least to an extent. Sure, my man exaggerates with the whole if one man comes back scenario, but it's just to make a clear point. Men have always been the ones to put their lives on the line for familial stability. Before the feminist argument flooded in, this applied to all male groups in society. If the ship started sinking, the men would stay. If the house was on fire, the men would try to get everyone out first. If someone dared to invade the home, it was not the wife who would carry a weapon to the front door. In contrast to the transactional crap you see in a lot of these podcasts, this was the one true actual transaction I protect and provide for you, and you make sure the house and children stay sorted. This was the longest-lasting primal sense of purpose given to both parties.
My trauma is my trauma. Why are you judging me for how I'm healing?
You're a little slut.
No. If my man's down and he needs help, I can help him. If I'm down, he can help me. It goes both ways.
Who paid for the first date? Yeah. Who paid for the second date?
Probably him.
Who paid for the third date?
Probably him.
How long would you take care of your man if he couldn't work anymore?
Let's say maybe like 6 months.
6 months?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's not equality. Since y'all have a timeline on it, that means that it's not equal because men, it's in our nature to provide for a woman forever.
I'm Celeste.
What's your deal?
I work as a substitute teacher. I do cosplay.
I'm a teacher. I love going to Comic-Con and dressing up.
He smells nice.
I think you two are really cute together.
Are you down for $1 margaritas? Are you unsure? Go for
Yeah, I'm sorry. It was really good to meet you.
it. Nice to meet you, Celeste.
I feel really bad because I did like him a lot, but also I don't want to not leave my options open, I guess.
Nice to meet you, Daniel.
I'm Celeste.
Nice to meet you. Would you like to see exhibit your kids?
Yeah, I just wanted to see who else was here, I guess.
Do you think you would want to go on a second date with you?
I hope so. Guess we'll see what he says. Oh my god! That was more fun talking.
I do have to hit the button, though. I don't play second chances.
That's fair.
That's fair below average women making below average choices. The therapist clip states in the caption that many face economic uncertainty and prioritize career and personal development over relationships, finding the dating landscape too demanding and time-consuming. While this is true, it's also pretty vague and forgiving towards the demographic responsible for this situation. Men are the natural providers. That's something you'll find in every culture on the planet. Women like to point out that some isolated tribes are governed by women, but that can be answered with 2 questions: have they prospered, and can you name them? If we're being honest, the answer is no, because they resemble a functioning society as much as a dolphin does a hippo. And to address how women provide well, they don't. Not only do they choose not to provide, but they are also naturally incapable of providing without a male link at the start of the chain. That's how this economic uncertainty reared its ugly head at Gen Z dudes.
They prospered? And can you name them? If we're being honest, the answer is no, because they resemble a functioning society as much as a dolphin does a hippo. And to address how women provide...
Stop telling women we don't need makeup. We know. We just like to wear it. Khalas.
You're ugly.
Men are in their flop era, like for real. There's such an insane imbalance between men and women. I don't think that we'll ever be able to restore equality and the balance between men and women.
I think we could.
You do?
Yeah. We're in this extreme where men are dispensable, you know, we can do it all our own and all that thing, which is, again, great because we kind of needed to raise ourselves up to the same, you know, standard. Right now, the notion I feel like online is that one can exist without the other.
The statistics are reflecting that. I mean, there's a record number of single women over 30. People are having fewer and fewer children. More single women in the United States own homes than single men. men. This is a society-wide problem. Like, we shouldn't be like, oh, haha, like men are getting theirs now, because it's going to cause problems down the line in like multiple ways, like some of which are really dark.
I feel like we kind of got to a bit of a plateau with this like them versus us type of thing. And it's time to kind of change the narrative.
The resistance among young men to dating and marriage isn't due to the terrible arguments often presented. Women may own more homes, but often through divorce settlements rather than independent achievement. They're not winning in the West. If anything, they're facing a decline. Men aren't struggling in the ways often portrayed, rather, they're opting out of a system that no longer values their contributions. Take the crazy camera slapping wall jumper in the first clip. She still subscribes to the silly idea that women wear makeup and heels for themselves when the story's already out that these things are specifically created to appeal to the opposite sex, albeit unsuccessfully. Then you have these dumb unknowns talking to each other with mics bought with a trust fund, believing that demeaning men was a magical thing that resulted in harmony. But now they have to pump the brakes a bit.
Your wife can spend more than you make, like you need to make more monies. 150, maybe to 250,000 a year would be comfortable for sure. The more the merrier, but
300,000, like I guess if they made less than that, I feel like we wouldn't have the lifestyle I wanted, so I would work. Like, life's expensive.
Anywhere from 70 to 100K. I would have to say 127. $500,000. Is that bad?
Probably 150 to $250,000 a year.
Ideally, my husband needs to be making like 650,000.
If you want your house clean, hire me a maid.
Okay.
Realistically, yes.
Okay, fine.
Yes.
You want me to clean? I agree. I'll hire the maid and I'll marry the maid.
Boom.
I'll marry the maid.
Oh, Davila, she's tied up. She's done lots
That's
of
the
stuff.
question. That's the question.
You know, she's on the time of the month.
Of course.
And she's like, can you please help me with
Yes,
the
I will
dishes?
say to her, of course, Habib, I'll do the dishes. By the way, you got the rent this week.
You're taking the myth.
Okay. Look.
Why
okay.
do men go into marriages hating their wives?
Because this batch...
Totally reasonable, guys. Just go out and pick up a job that makes $500,000 and all the worries in the world will just wash away. It's that simple. Oh wait, apparently the typical 25-year-old only has an annual household income of over $40,000, so it looks like that's off the table. Back to the drawing board, fellas. We tried. But seriously, when the therapist at the start says many face economic uncertainty, he and whoever is listening to him are just painting over the real issue like a drunk landlord paints over a power outlet. Young men aren't bowing out of the race or failing in the way these people describe, and they're definitely not dealing with their own personal problems because they simply can't hack it. This is just another one of those speeches that erases accountability for women and tries to identify the problem as something that men brought on themselves.
Excuse me, can I please get a new dish? I think it got cold when I was taking photos. Can I take this back? You got a dish 30 minutes ago. I'm a TikToker, so I was just taking videos, but it's cold now. Can I please get another round? I'm not gonna eat this one. I don't want this dish. I was putting my phone over it. It's just like not edible. You're gonna have to charge you for another one. It doesn't matter if you're a TikToker. You're a normal person like everyone else. How am I a normal person if I'm a TikToker? Just contradicting yourself at this point. And how's that our problem? Okay, I'll just get the same thing. Thanks. Sure, but I'll charge you for the new one. Well, I'm not paying for 2 dishes. I'm just gonna pay for 1. You can take this back, and then I'll have it. First of all, you ordered like 10 dishes. I hear you on that, but I'll just get the same thing that I got, just like a new dish. Can I please get a new order? I'm asking you very nicely. I don't know why I am. I'm sure you don't know who I am. I actually don't know who you are. No normal person that knows who I am would ever talk to me like this. I don't know what makes you think that I would eat cold food. This is very weird for a restaurant.
I make $150,000. I'm an only child raised by a single mom. I'm paying for mom's condo right now. And I mean, you know, you go on dating apps, you get nothing. And I go out to the mall. I feel like I got some style. I got, you know,
well, let me stop you right here. I'm telling you, the way you're coming across already is beta. What woman wants to date a man who's paying his mom's condo?
She's 65. She don't have any money. What am I supposed to do?
Hey, that's not what I asked. Now, is it? You need to understand something. Just when I ask these women these questions, they have that same feeling too. What are you supposed to do? Live like you're living. I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm telling you, you're not coming across as a man who's at 36, who's living for him. Where's her husband?
I don't know my father.
Okay. Your mom mismanaged her life, so now you're stuck with it. This is what happens when guys become son husbands. No different than become mother-daughter scenario. The mothers end up ruining their kids' lives because they ruin their own life. You're 36 making 100. You should be living your own life. Unfortunately, I'm gonna give you some hardcore advice. You didn't know your father? Is he still alive?
I don't know.
Why don't you know?
Ma won't tell me the truth, I guess.
What, he won't tell you the truth. His name's not on your birth certificate?
It is.
Well, what do you mean she won't tell you the truth? You know his name.
I guess I never pursued it that hard.
This is something that hasn't been touched on much, but it's about time to explore it. One of the things harming young men's success these days isn't just the legislation, inflation, or other usual suspects in Western media. It's the pervasive father narrative dad drinks, but it's not because he caught mum cheating, he's just in shambles. Dad's gone, but it's usually because he's inconsiderate and narcissistic. Dad is a menace, but mummy loves you. The problem with these statements isn't that they never happen, it's that, statistically speaking, they are almost non-existent when held up to actual scrutiny. It's not the sins of the father, it's almost always the sins of the mother. During high school, mandatory social work revealed a troubling trend. Most single mum upbringings were steeped in manipulation. Dad was drinking because mum cheated, often multiple times. Dad wasn't gone because he didn't care, he was kept at arm's length or sometimes didn't even know his son existed. And finally, mummy didn't love these troubled men, she demonized them because they reminded her of the man who made her feel shame for the past.
Turn it off. That's what I would say. It's hard for young people now because they're hooked. They're addicted. If you don't think you're addicted, and I'm talking about anyone, from the highest to the lowest, if you don't think you're addicted, then see if you could turn it off for a week. It got quiet in here, didn't it? Didn't it get real quiet? Some of us do anything to be liked. We used to do anything to be liked, but it was by the person in front of you. Now it's to be liked by 16 million people that you don't know.
In the West, there's a pandemic that can't be fixed with a shot, and though it's often talked about, nobody has done anything to fix it. Social media has turned a majority of women into actors, and as Trey Parker and Matt Stone would say, there's nobody on God's green earth dumber than people who perform on camera for a living. It's just common sense. These chicks gain a small following by posting bikini pics and a scrap worth of foreign food and suddenly think they're Jackie Kennedy or Marilyn Monroe. Maybe they're just as miserable, probably more so, but they don't even come close. By the time they enter the dating scene, this false sense of entitlement is so strong that interacting with them is a total nightmare. What kind of guy in his right mind would encourage that? The answer is none, no way, no one, no how. If the options are to save money and gain with the guys after work or suffer the insufferable with a woman determined to be the flavor of the week, the choice is easy. Choosing the former brings happiness, while choosing the latter is shallow and soul-sucking.
The guy ever cried in front of you?
Yes.
Was it a turnoff?
I feel like it made us closer, actually.
Now, Milton, don't be greedy. Let's pass it along to make sure.
This place makes me wonder.
Yeah, what's that, boss?
Which would be worse? To live as a monster? Or to die as a good man?
Okay.
See, therapists, jokers, women, and anyone else watching this who thinks this garbage is okay, here's what you're missing. Men in the upcoming generations, just because they were born in the dark, that doesn't make them stupid. They know that the rewards for masculinity are still out there, along with all the love, hope, and self-respect that come with it. But they also know they won't find it where they're sitting, so they wait. They work hard and focus on what's important, that's the key. And when they start to walk away, they're one step closer to finding it. What are your thoughts? Share them in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future uploads. See you next time.